What's up everybody, and welcome back to the channel. I wanted to start today by making a couple more of the stocking stuffer puzzles. The first one we're going to start out with is called a cog puzzle. I'm just using some scrap leftover sweet gum wood that I have, and I found these templates online. If you would like these templates and you can't find them, I'll drop them in the membership section of the channel so you can get a copy for yourself. So once I get the templates all traced out, I just move over to the drill press and just punch a few holes through so I can get my jigsaw blade in and just easily cut out the shapes to the correct size. If you happen to own a scroll saw, this part here would be 100 times easier and a lot smoother. I don't currently own one myself, so that's why I'll be using the jigsaw to cut all the shapes out and get them right size. I am using a scroll blade in the jigsaw. It does a pretty good smooth cut job, but if you're not real careful with it, it can tilt at an angle, causing you trouble later on down the road. But I keep a piece of sandpaper and a scrap piece of the block wood I'm using just to keep check to make sure when it does fit the hole, I don't overcut it and make it too big. So once I get my piece to fit, I just jump on the miter saw real quick and cut the pieces apart. You should have 3 pieces total, all measuring the same length. I do this here because it's a lot easier to cut these two out on the bandsaw. Again, if you don't have a bandsaw, a scroll saw will work great, and you can just stay on the jigsaw if you prefer. But I highly recommend cut out all the shapes before you cut them down to size. They're a lot easier to clamp the whole bar to the table and cut them out using a jigsaw if you decide to go that route. So with all the shapes cut out and test fitting correctly, I just use a little bit of 220 sandpaper and give them all a light sanding, kind of get the sharp edges off and anywhere that it might have got scratched or blemished while I was doing the initial cutting. It doesn't take a lot here. This was some scrap wood, but most of it was already just sanded on both sides before I began. So I only used 220 because I didn't really have a need for the 80 or anything like that. So I just run it down as smooth as I can get it, and don't over sand in the shape cutouts itself, because it'll make the puzzle real easy to solve once it kind of gets broken down. And you want people to kind of have to think about it a little bit to, number one, get it apart, but number two, get it put back together. So with all the sanding done and all the cleanup, I like to use a board butter that I make using food grade mineral oil and beeswax. It gives the wood a nice rich looking color, and you can really see the wood grain come out. I just rub it on pretty thick and I let it sit for a long time, and after it sit probably for about 30 minutes or so, I like to just come back later with a dry cloth and wipe up any excess just so it doesn't have that greasy feel, because once it takes to the wood, you can't really tell that it's been greased. So now you see why they call it a cog puzzle. See the C, see the O, see the G? So spoiler alert, I'm going to show you how to solve it. First you put the G piece inside the O piece. Then you turn the C piece around opposite and just slide them together. And that's it. It looks complicated, but it's really not, and it's easy to make. You could probably make these in an hour or less once you kind of set up all your stations. So moving on, I'm going to show you another puzzle that you can also build within an hour or less. And that puzzle is the Tetris puzzle. Using 3/4 inch stop, I just set a stop block on my miter saw at 3/4 inch. And I just make several cuts. You'll need 27 pieces total to build this puzzle. I like to just pour out all the pieces and flip them to where the end grain is not facing up. And then I start just putting them together in the shapes that I'll need. Number 1 being a small square. And number 2 will be the Tetris S shape. And you'll need 2 of these to complete the puzzle. And of course, most all pieces in this puzzle use 4 cubes, except for the smaller L, which is only 3. So I lay my pieces out, and again, I try to keep the end grain facing sideways or, left, right, just so it's not shown. So I like to put everything together to make sure they fit good, because, sometimes you'll get a variation and the board might be just a little bit thicker in places that you may want to sand before you glue. So once you get all the cubes put together, verify that you have one square, two L's, two S's, a little L, and a T. So for this, I'm using Tight Bond Quick Set glue. Normally I would use CA glue, but this stuff works pretty good, especially if the temperature is correct. You can't see it on camera, but I have a heater off to the left that is pushing heat towards it. So everything's kind of pushed together, and I just hold it long enough for it to set a little bit, and then I just move it over. So continue on and just keep making sure you're making the same pieces and the correct number of pieces. It also helps to just write down exactly what you need. That way, if you're kind of clumsy like me and you bump them around, you don't end up making double pieces that you don't need or triple pieces that you don't need. It'll save you a lot of grief and headache later on if you just, know what you're doing before you start gluing. So after the glue's had a little bit of time to set up, I just come back with multiple colors of paints and stains. I don't really like to solid paint these because most of my paint that I have is actually acrylic paint. And if you've ever used acrylic paint, a lot of times it does dry up and it feels kind of like sandpaper. And so what I like to do, I like to just put the paint on the shape and then just rub it back off real smooth. I had seen Taylor with Boydston Grove do this, and I really like the effect. It's hard to see on camera, but when you actually do it in person, you can really see the wood grain shining through the colors, and it gives a lot of it just the appearance that the wood's been stained. Also, when all the paint sets up, I will go back with a light sanding of 220 and kind of just give all the pieces a little scuffed, well-used look. So now here's another spoiler alert. If you don't want to know how to solve it, you can stop the video here and just test it out yourself to see if you can do it. But if not, here's how I solve it. And of course, it can be done multiple ways. It doesn't have to exactly be like this, but this is one of those ways that I originally figured it out when I first made one. And so it's kind of just stays in my head, especially when I want to put it together real fast for demo purposes, or when somebody's just stumped, I like to show them how to do it. And that's it. That's all you got to do, and it looks great. They're a lot of fun to play with. My original prototype, I just did it out of plain wood, and I made a little tray out of an oak pallet. I just cut out a little piece, and I made another little square just to hold it. And same thing, square, L, S, T, S, big L, little L. And there you have it. There's 2 easy brain teaser puzzles that you can make for free, and they provide hours of fun. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you've enjoyed it. Shout out to my channel members TS Tree and K-Law. I greatly appreciate you guys. I hope everybody has a Merry Christmas. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Remember to like and subscribe on the way out, and I'll see you on the next one.